Among the most astonishing documents to survive from the ancient world is the manuscript of Ibn Fadlan, relating his experiences with the Northmen in AD 922. It is prized among historians and collectors, not only for its vivid details, but for the extraordinary qualities of Ahmed ibn Fadlan himself. A member of the court of the Caliph of Baghdad, Ibn Fadlan is unblinking in his manner of reporting. He recounts his experiences not with the flair of a bard or dramatist, but with a clear and level-headed perspective, one barely tainted by his own biases or presumptions. Ibn Fadlan never speculates, never exaggerates, and it is this quality that makes his tale so horrifying. For were it not for his absolute truthfulness in every aspect of his manuscript, his experiences in the mists of the north would never have been believed. Even a millennia later, it was not his encounters with the Northmen that made his travels so astonishing, but the creatures that hunted them, the eaters of the dead, the Wendel. Ibn Fadlan recounts that the Northmen greatly feared what they named the Black Mists of their homeland, and that in days ancient even to them, such mists were said to bring under the cover of night black fiends who ate the flesh of human beings. They were fierce and cunning hunters, loathsome to the touch and smell. Once they were everywhere across the north, and stories of their horrors and depredations were enough to make all the Northman chiefs in every kingdom prepare for their return. In 922, their fears were realized in the distant realm of King Hrothgar, and calls for aid were dispatched across the continent. Though Fadlan makes it clear he had no wish to see such things with his own eyes, a Northman seer, a crone named by her tribe the Angel of Death, decreed that 13 warriors be sent out to meet the Wendel, and that a foreigner must be among them. Such was it that Ibn Fadlan, dispatched by his caliph as an ambassador to the Volga Bulgars, would never complete his mission, but through his journey, the true nature of the Wendel would be revealed. Though feared to be demons or some other supernatural creature, Fadlan soon discovered the Wendel to be things of flesh and blood. They were manlike in every respect, yet not as any man upon the face of the earth. They were hairy, squat, and broad, their large heads marked by sunken eyes, and brows formed not of hair, but bone. Their jaws and mouths were similarly oversized, filled with sharp teeth, often ground down and flattened. Their feet were likewise a cross between beast and man, and each toe ended in horns or some kind of claw. Wendel society was comparatively primitive even to the Northmen, but it was not without its own intricate displays of custom and ritual. First and foremost, they were creatures of the night, only emerging from hidden warrens and caves after sundown, or when the mists were particularly thick. When they did so, it was invariably to raid the surrounding lands, for the Wendel possessed only the most basic means of agriculture or raising livestock. Anything within their hunting grounds, whether beast or man, was ripped apart, and it seems that the Wendel killed both for sustenance and pleasure. Almost universally, the heads of their victims would be taken. In the presence of outsiders, the Wendel adopted the appearance and mannerism of bears. They wore thick furs and pelts, and many of their number even wore the heads or skulls of bears upon their own. Whether their intention or not, the Wendel were often perceived as bears by the Northmen they hunted, and this was only amplified by their apparent obsessive need to recover the bodies of their own. A Wendel felled in battle was always carried away by its tribe, preventing a close examination of their kind. It is likely that such acts had some religious or spiritual connotations. Bear heads on poles ringed their territory, and were the most prevalent element within their barbaric culture. Other aspects existed, however, and seemed centered around specific figures within each group. The Wendel were organized under a primitive tribal structure, though on their exact nature, Ibn Fadlan remains unsure. A group of Wendel of sufficient size were led by an elder matriarchal figure, closely associated with serpent imagery. The mother of the Wendel stayed deep within the earth, never joining a raid or incursion into distant lands. She appeared to be an almost godlike figure within the tribe, and her death would be enough to drive the surviving Wendell into a frenzy of grief, terror, or rage. It is possible female Wendell were rare within their tribes, for the Den of the Mother was noted for its numerous fertility statues. They dripped with the blood of sacrifices, apparently indicating a great desire on the part of the Wendell. Perhaps the term mother was literal, and lacking any other females, the death of the matriarch would be enough to ensure the eventual death of the tribe. Leading the warriors of the Wendell was another figure, the greatest of the tribe's killers, and anointed with the horns of power to signify his status. When launching their raids, this champion would lead his warriors in a long column, with every Wendell holding aloft a burning torch. Combined with the qualities of the mist they rode within, this led to the mistaken belief that the Wendell had tamed a fireworm or dragon. In their raids, they were savage and relentless, often tearing apart their opponents with nothing more than their bare hands. The Wendell showed very little aptitude for anything beyond basic craftsmanship. What dwellings they constructed outside their caves and caverns were little more than huts, and always temporary structures to which they held no real attachment. Their tools were nothing but sharpened stones, but honed with such persistence and vigor until they were as sharp as fashioned metal. Their speech was correspondingly basic. If any language existed, it was nothing more than a few key words, phrases, or simple chants. Only in animal husbandry did the Wendell display any kind of sophistication, and they were apparently able to domesticate horses in some manner for riding. In his brief encounter with the Wendell, Ahmad ibn Fadlan and the warriors he accompanied slew the mother of the tribe that assaulted Hrothgar's kingdom, as well as their greatest champion. In doing so, the 13 warriors seemingly ended the threat of the Wendell of the North, removing from the world an ancient presence, seemingly at odds with the modern world. The Wendell were a relic, the last vestiges of an era in which man competed with its rivals for the complete dominion of the earth. It is said that evil is of old date, and perhaps we must be thankful that according to Ibn Fadlan at least, one aspect of it has stayed there.